at 1 million rand. EMPD and SAPS members were escorting the truck under a bogus operation. Magagula says the exhibits contained in the truck were not recorded in the SAPS property register. He's testifying before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria.
The EMPD should have opened a disciplinary hearing against the members because they had the information at that time. Furthermore, to get more evidence, the important part, it is the pound itself. The pound plays an important role because it's where we found who booked the truck in. What was the reason for booking the truck in the pound? Is there any case number for the truck to be booked in?
Residents of Marite and Bushbuck region, Madlanga, have blockaded the R40 road to protest against electricity cuts. They say they have not had electricity for over 2 months after the power utility switched off their transformer due to what he said was overload. Trucks have been used to blockade the road since early this morning. This is the third time that the road has been blockaded this week. Police are monitoring the situation. Authorities have urged motorists to use alternative routes. Mozambique is bracing for Cyclone Gazani, which is expected to make landfall later today. The latest satellite data shows the storm moving across the Indian Ocean towards the Mozambican coast. The BBC's Richard Kagoe has the details.
The Mozambican authorities say the central and southern provinces are likely to bear the brunt of Cyclone Gazani, with focus of heavy rain, strong winds and flooding. The National Disaster Management Council has urged people in high-risk areas to evacuate. Residents are being advised to secure their homes, prepare emergency kits, identify nearby shelters, and closely follow official updates. Maritime activities have been suspended in Inhambane province, which lies along the cyclone's projected path. The government estimates that more than 1 million people could be affected across 3 provinces.
Recapping the top story, the Southern Africa Agriculture Initiative has rejected President Cyril Ramaphosa's plan to centralize the national vaccination campaign and vaccine procurement within the state. I am Lambana for SAFM News. Headlines at 1:30.
Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
Steadies bow out, hunting for a win to relocate from the basement, while the big stars fight to lock down third place. Right, points, one lost battle. This is the CAF Confederation Cup. Catch the bottom of the table contest, Stellenbosch FC versus Singita Black Stars. This Sunday, 15 February at 6 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
So if you love live music in beautiful spaces, Symphony by the Water is one to diarize. It's taking place at Midmar Dam on Saturday, the 7th of March 2026, featuring the KZN Philharmonic Orchestra with an incredible lineup of South African artists. Tickets are available now at Web Tickets and Pick and Pay, and exhibition and stall spaces are also available at 600 Rand. And for more information, you can follow at Symphony Waters on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
All right. Let's hope this is an indicator that as of next week, Madlanga will be back to the schedule that we are familiar with. They've gone on a 1 o'clock break, lunch break, and they'll be back again at 2. Today we've seen testifying IPID's Assistant Director, Thulani Magagula, has been on that hot seat for the better part of the morning. As per usual, of course, we're going to touch base with Usmatle Mota, our SABC News reporter, around everything that has transpired thus far. How are you doing? I hope you've had a great Friday, easing into the weekend that shall be, wrapping up all of those important tasks that you set out for yourself for the week that was. We woke up to quite a wonderful rain in our side of the country this morning. Large areas of Johannesburg woke up to beautiful, beautiful rain. We thought it's going to be a cloudy day, where we get to enjoy some relief from the scorching heat. But on my drive into work, it seems as though the sun is fighting for its prominence once again. But it's okay. because tomorrow we also have a little bit of rain. According to Steve Jobs' app, we have rain tomorrow. And it's never really wrong. So at least we can look forward to that. Oh, we were so happy. We were so happy that I'm wearing a tracksuit to work. And I got into work today and my producers looked at what I'm wearing and they said, "Is it still raining outside?" I was like, "No, the sun is fully out now," but I was committed to the look. So here I am. And then I get into this building, which is scorching hot. Hey, it's difficult. So if you watch us live streaming, you see myself and my tech producer, Naiya Shiselwa, and she's a spring chicken, so it's not even perimenopause. You'll just see us fanning ourselves. Please excuse us. Our building right now is like the pits of hell. It is so hot in here. There's not a single aircon that is working, so we're just powering through. Let's take a quick pause, and then we'll come back with Sbahle Mota.
Wherever you are in the world, SAFM 104 to 107 is accessible. We're also streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube at SAFM Radio. We acknowledge and appreciate everyone tuning in and watching our streams. Stay with SAFM 104 to 107 as we bring you commission live, breaking stories, and thought-provoking lectures. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to The Full Circle.
All right, let's get on with it. It's day 60. We've come to a round number of the Madlanga Commission, which is hosted at the Bridget Masinga Justice College in Tshwane. We're going to catch up with Sbahle now, who's going to give us the rundown of what's been happening this morning. Sbahle, how are you doing today?
Good afternoon to you, Bridget, and thank you so much for having me.
Awesome stuff. Let's talk day 60 of the Madlanga Commission. We have got that IPID assistant director on the chair today. Firstly, tell us what do we know about him?
So basically, Thulani Magagula is on the stand or the witness stand to just give the IPID side of the story. So if you remember, Revo Spieth, who was the former deputy police chief in the city of Ekurhuleni, as well as the suspended police chief, Jabulani Mabiye, had complained to the commission saying that, the IPID was dragging its feet in investigating some of the cases that now suspended Deputy Police Chief Julius Mkhwanazi had been also involved in. So they had made these accusations, even at some point saying that, they believe that other IPID officers are very close to Julius Mkhwanazi. That is why we are seeing some of these cases that he's been implicated in are not reaching finality. And the cases include that of Emmanuel Mbenze, whose body was dumped in a dam. It includes the stealing of precious stones that cost 45 million rands. Another theft of a vehicle, of a truck rather, that had stolen goods of 1 million rands, and another theft at a shop in regards to illegal cigarettes. So these were officers who they believed were linked to Julius Mkhwanazi's specialized task team. So this is why we are seeing IPID, and now they are actually explaining the side of the story and just giving an update as to where some of these cases are. And unfortunately, according to the IPID side, a lot of these cases have not been finalized. They are still under investigation, even though we're seeing cases that date as far back as 2023. And one such case is the theft of a truck that was carrying goods that was worth 1 million rands, where you found two EMPD officers had gone to the property of this person alongside another security company, and they took this truck under the impression that it was a police operation. And when they impounded it into, I think it's the Boksburg impound, they did not register some of the goods that were in that truck. And you are seeing the commissioners actually saying, why does the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department not actually institute disciplinary hearings against these officers when there is clear evidence, So again, it goes back to Julius Mkhwanazi being protected allegedly by the former city manager, as well as Mr. Kemi Behari, who was on the stand. So I think it's just, it's not helping much, because even the IPID, because each person is seized with so many cases, they are not really prioritizing some of the cases that the EMPD has brought to them.
One of the commissioners, I caught a glimpse, I was, just for full disclosure, I was a bit distracted this morning at my own place with security measures, given where we live in this country. So I was half watching, half not watching. But I caught one of the commissioners, not Commissioner Madlanga, not Commissioner Baloy, the other commissioner, just asking around some of the cases that were still open at IPID and cases that had not gone for prosecution or conclusion, and posing the observation that, well, if you're saying half of investigators leave because things take such a prolonged time, some going into years and years and years, when you've got about 70-80% of the case evidence that's needed to go and seek some kind of prosecution, why are you not doing that? There didn't seem to be a clear-cut answer from the gentleman. NgesiZulu would say colloquially, "Uvele wambangaza nje," and you couldn't quite hear what he was saying.
I mean, judging from the evidence that has been brought to the Madlanga Commission, firstly, each investigator is probably seized with more than 300 cases, and also at times we heard from the testimony of Nomsa Masuku yesterday where she said she had all the evidence in her investigating file, which included the post-mortem of Mr. Mbenze, the statement of some of the, suspects rather in that murder case, and some of the other evidence she presented to the prosecutors, and the prosecutors simply declined, saying that that was not enough. So in between them being under-resourced, and between the court role having more cases that it could actually, deal with, enrolled on the cases, it seems like there's an ongoing battle here with a lot of the cases not really being prioritized, even though they are so clear-cut. So I think more than anything, what I have seen and heard from the Madlanga Commission is the fact that there is a crisis in some of these institutions, rather, the fact that, a lot of the cases are not being investigated or they are just left open. I mean, even Nomsa Masuku yesterday saying that at one point she was in court every day for 3 months and she had like over 300 cases on her desk, and she had to come back to those cases, and when she comes back, there's still more cases coming in. So it seems like, the system seems to be failing, and you are finding some of these cases are actually being accelerated because of the Madlanga Commission. So it's a catch-22 situation, because where you are finding that they are not really prioritizing these cases because of other cases, and they are somehow like dropping the ball in some of these investigations. But I think what is clear from other testimony that we've heard from the SARS is the fact that these law enforcement institutions are really, really under-resourced.
Well, it's a sad state of affairs, definitely, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there for today, Sbahle. No, I'm just chuckling because, obviously we keep multiple devices on the commission, from the broadcast as well as the YouTube live feed and other mediums. And the YouTube always makes me laugh because simultaneously is commentary running on the side from fellow South Africans watching. And people are busy chuckling around in Namibia and having to send their visas to Namibia for quick processing. And some making an observation saying that it looks as though the witness today is suffering from a Sona Babalaz. So, I think people are just trying to find humor in what has been a very long week at the Madlanga Commission. Sbahle Mota, thank you so much for your time, SABC News reporter. Have a great weekend. That's the only way that we can get through some of these things sometimes as South Africans, is try to find the funny in it, even though it's a very serious matter. But I think that's our superpower as a country. People often say that South Africans are resilient, and I think our resilience comes from the fact that no matter how dark the times are that we are going through, no matter how bad the crisis is that we are facing at that time, somebody in the room is going to crack a joke and we are going to laugh at ourselves. If just for a split second we are going to laugh at ourselves and forget that we are in the midst of 4:10 in the hour and continue with business for a second. Let's take a little bit of a pause and then we'll come back on the other side.
SAFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. PO Box 142365, Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za. Stages, pages, screens, and more on The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga.
All right, it's approaching 20 past 1 o'clock. They're on a break. The Madlanga Commission is on a break, and so we utilize the time to chat matters of different kinds of content. And we've recently just relaunched SABC2 in the most spectacular of ways, right? Have you seen the new lineup? It kicked off last week, and it's all kinds of interesting new programming. We thought we'd catch up with Madlanga, who's the filmmaker, storyteller, and founder of Black Brain Pictures. And today we're not talking Black Brain, but we are talking this new telenovela. It's a new Afrikaans telenovela called Paradise, or is it Paradise, launching on SABC2 with quite the rock star cast list. Good afternoon, Madlanga. How are you doing?
Hey, afternoon. I'm good, man. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm great. Awesome. I can't complain at all. Who would have thought, a black creative hailing from the hood, you're a phenomenal storyteller, though, because a storyteller is a storyteller nonetheless. But
a storyteller is a storyteller,
you know what I mean? Here you are with your team at Black Brain behind this new Afrikaans telenovela.
Yeah, I think, for us it's a huge blessing, and it's also an honor. And, coming to storytelling, this is what we do on a daily basis. I mean, who would have thought that, Yizo was created by, Angus Gibson, so it's exactly with us now. We're creating Paradise. And it's not just that Savor Afrikaans, it's that Kombees Afrikaans, the Westbury, the Eldos, the Cape Flats. We're speaking to Aware Second.
Oh, it's called Kombees Afrikaans.
Yeah, it's Savor Afrikaans. This is Kombees Afrikaans. It's that Afrikaans that's mixed with Taal, that lingo, that Tosi Taal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sorry, you can carry on?
No, continue, you mean?
Yeah, it's something for everybody. We've also got a bit of religion in there. We've got love. We've got betrayal. We've got, it's a whirlwind of emotions. So, no matter their ages, they're going to find something for themselves.
I mean, those are the themes that make it for a good telenovela, right? It's how do you bring out those human emotions for, I don't know how many episodes you've been contracted to do, but if we're making it to 300 episodes, you got to keep those stories going, and the only ways to do that is to really play on those human emotions that connect everybody, that are intergenerational, that cross gender and cross race.
Yeah, all the time. And I think the beauty about it is, we've really had a lot of, experience when it comes to telenovelas. I mean, we did create your Deep City. We created your Isita, which is currently on ETV at 8:30 every single day. Also created your Ispeto, Plekto, and now it's Paradise. So from an experience point of view, we've got the best teams in the industry creating this masterpiece, if I had to say so myself. So,
yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to love it and enjoy it and just eat it up.
Absolutely. I mean, let's talk a little bit about some of this cast. I know that you've got Losha Cooper. A lot of people have been wanting Losha back on the screens full time. She's dipped in and out of a lot of your productions in recent years, but I think a lot of people have just been hungry to see her again Monday to Friday for a prolonged time on a screen.
I think Losha Cooper is kind of like, South Africa's treasure when it comes to performance. And I've worked with her, especially on Lockdown. That was my first, big acting role with her. Lockdown, I just recently did a mega Netflix show with her as well. And now we bring her to the people, and, she speaks that Cape Flats type Afrikaans, and she's playing a phenomenal woman with a whole lot of layers when it comes to performance. So I'm excited about that. And she's alongside Ilse Klink and also, your Zane Niers as well. So in terms of cast, I think we really went all out, and it's a treat when it comes to, Afrikaans people.
I mean, I've never spoken to you around the casting process for some of your productions. I've explored this conversation quite intently with the guys at Bomb Shelter, because I realized very quickly that they have a way of writing already or character developing already with a particular person in mind, that they know that person is going to inhibit this character in such a nuanced way. And I wonder for you and your team and your casting director, when you begin to work on a telenovela project and you begin to develop the characters, at which stages do you start seeing that actually I think Ilsa might fit this, Ilsa and someone else maybe, where you start making those shortlists in your head of saying, these might be the perfect fits for to bring these words to life?
For me, I approach it in two ways. So, probably 40% of the cast, I'll know that, okay, cool, these are my anchors. These are the guys that are going to teach people around set etiquette, because it is a telenovela and it's a long stretch. So you need people with experience. And then the rest, the 60%, I want to go discover new faces, because there's nothing like, a blank canvas that you can paint from. Also from the audience point of view, because they've never seen those people anywhere, it feels like, that's that actual person. It's not an actor portraying a role. So I like mixing it up, and so that's my process. And what I'll do is then I'll bring everyone into one space, and then I'll pair it. My audition is never, one individual, we're looking at them, they're auditioning. No, I bring people together. Also, I take a lot into consideration, the tones of their speech patterns when they're speaking to different characters. I also look at the skin texture and, are they light, are they dark? When it's a family together, are they going to work in terms of lighting as well? And, so there's a lot that goes into my casting process.
I love the also, just as you say, the technical element of your casting as well, because I think that makes a story believable. Gone are the days where people think audiences are dof and we don't pay attention to these things. Now we do. We like, Mara, that one doesn't look like they come from the same genetic line.
Yes, and that's a big problem, because the minute you start thinking like that, you've obviously zoned out of the story, and you start picking up things like that, I mean, I look at it even from a, a language point of view, where you're like, that Zulu is Soweto Zulu. Okay, cool. So let's change the story. Let's say this one went to boarding school in Johannesburg instead of KZN. You know what I'm saying? So you always have to play on people's strengths, and the actors that you get, you play on their strengths a lot of the time. So I changed the script to play on their strengths. So, that's my process.
So now back to Paradise, the telenovela. So it's TXing on the 23rd of February, which is just like next week after, basically in a week. And it's TXing at 7 o'clock on SABC 2. It's set in Johannesburg. And we've established, obviously, that it's a multi-generational story. Tell us about this colored paradise. Is it a neighborhood? Is it a block of flats? Are we telling that same story about colored people coming from, Cape Flats and, Westbury's, or are we mixing it up here?
Basically, we're mixing it up, and loosely based on El Dorado Park. And remember, I'm from Pinville, so El Dorado was just next to me. So obviously I played a lot of soccer that side and everything, so I can relate to that side. But it's a fictional place where a lot of colored individuals are from. And that's why I loosely based it on El Dorado Park. I've got a lot of establishing shots around El Dorado Park. But at the end of the day, it's a human story. It's a human story with heart.
Yeah. You know what I'm loving, Mandla, about what is sort of the rebirth of SABC2 is that it's also returning us to the golden years of SABC. The golden years of storytelling on a public platform where there was a plethora of different stories that represented the entirety of South Africa. And it seems as though those are the stories that are coming out that are going to be on the platform of S2 moving into the future.
Yeah, and I think I'm excited about that because I was part of that. I was in the thick of things, especially when we created shows such as City Sesla, and I understand that era very, very well. And as the Chaba calls it, it's that Nkalagata generation. You know, when SABC2 was kind of like the heart of the heartbeat of South Africa. And I think that's what SABC2 has gone to. And with Paradise, it's an amazing addition because it's inclusive. It does not, as much as we've got colored individuals, we've also got Tsonga, we've got Xhosa, you know, so it's that melting pot of South Africa today.
Yeah. I want us to pause for a second. We'll come back on the other side and steal another 4 or 5 minutes of your time. We are in conversation with filmmaker Madlanga N. 1:30, time for the headline news.
Thank you, Bridget. On the news headlines, the Southern Africa Agriculture Initiative has rejected President Cyril Ramaphosa's plan to centralize the national vaccination campaign and vaccine procurement within the state. Residents of Newlands West, north of Durban, have described the ongoing water outages in their area as frustrating, and Mozambique is bracing for Cyclone Gezani, which is expected to make landfall later today. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Stages, pages, screens and more on The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga.
Paradijs lyk perfek in ons hoekie van Suid-Afrika.
Welkom by die opening van Paradise Park, Kamase!
Maar dit is nie een gebroke belofte ruk 'n familie uitmekaar.
Wil jy nou regtig ons familie uitmekaar skeer?
Wat het gebeur?
Jy is 'n kus! Weet jy wat is eintlik 'n inconvenience? Die feit dat jy hier is.
Ek het hierdie gemeenskap jobs gegee, wat het jy hulle gegee? Prys.
Hou jou geld en trap.
Julle vat van my af, dan gaan jy my kry!
As my pa se huis!
En die strate word die slagveld van leuns, stikkende harte en skelmstreke. Maar ons mense, ons herbou met liefde. En ons almal soek 'n slice van paradise.
I mean, ek moet Afrikaans praat, né? So ek kan dit mooi kyk. It looks wonderful. I was looking at the visual, the trailer as we play the audio. I mean, just from a shot perspective, it looks absolutely incredible. I don't know who did the cinematography, but it looks amazing. And also seeing some of the familiar faces that we know, especially the established actors. The person, and we were talking about her earlier, Losha Cooper, just looking at the aesthetic of her character, so very different from what she played in Lockdown, and I think from what a lot of people perceive her to be when she's in character these days. She seems softer here, fragile, gentle here.
No, definitely, and I think that's what Losha gives you. She gives you the different shades of, performance. When you do work with her, especially if you give her a proper brief, she'll give you kind of like different performance styles, that's why I always gravitate towards her when it comes to performance. And I think that's what she's done a lot within Paradise. And you'll see her character unfold and grow and become something else.
Well, it looks like an absolute treat, and I wonder for you and your team, your writing team specifically. I always say with telenovelas, because they always start off so strong. Some of our favorite telenovelas start off so strong, grip us for the first couple of months, and then 3 years into it, we start harassing y'all on social media to say, okay, but let's keep the story. And I can imagine that it's a daunting task for a writing team to be able to tell a story and build characters and evolve characters for such prolonged times.
Yeah. I think, on our side, luckily through experience, we've known that. And even in our writing, we go, okay, cool. When are the big end of the month cliffhangers? When are the big, quarterly cliffhangers? And we've done that very well, because if you look at our other telenovela or on E called Isita, I mean, already it was number one when it left the 9:30 slot. Now it's at 8:30, and we are, killing it. We've just hit our 2.1 million viewers, only because it's always about keeping it fresh, because that show is about 4 years old now. And I think with Paradise, we write with that in mind. When are your big cliffhangers? When is your end of the month? And also being current to South Africa. We're moving towards Easter. Now we're moving towards, obviously, Valentine's. Let the story organically be part of people's daily lives. It mustn't feel like, okay, as much as we are escaping, because it's a daily show, you must also feel like these people understand what's going on in the current affairs. So if it was playing today, the guys in the show would be speaking about the president and the sauna. You know what I mean?
I love that you say that, Madla, because, as you were touching on this point, my mind automatically was going to the iconic Isidingo of yesteryear. And I've yet to see a production that turns it around as fast as they did. And I think it used to say something about their writers, their producers, and their talent as well. The ability to tell a story that just developed in the news 10 hours ago. And if you work in this industries, you understand how agile that means everyone has got to be. To literally turn that around for and reshoot, retape, and get it ready for channel to air that same evening. So I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to be texting you going, hey, you promised me.
Done. Please hold me to that. And people must just be glued on their screen from the 23rd. It's 7 o'clock. It's Paradise. It's a treat. Trust me on this one. And it doesn't mean if you don't know Afrikaans, you're not going to follow the story. This is for every South African. It's not just Afrikaans, by the way.
Absolutely. Madlanga, always a pleasure. And congratulations to you and the team on this one again. Keep soaring. He's a filmmaker and a storyteller and the founder of Black Brain Pictures. And, of course, Paradise is hitting SABC2 February the 23rd, 7 p.m. That's Monday afternoon. You don't want to miss it. Produced by Black Brain Pictures with a host of South Africa's very best of talents, from the seasoned talents to fresh new faces, definitely opening up the industry there. We're going to take a quick pause and then we come back. We're following it up actually with the marketing manager for video entertainment at SABC2. We're going to talk about everything that they've been doing, that they've launched for 2026.
Hi, I'm Zycard. Catch me every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. on Spotlight as we bring you blow-by-blow sporting action news. That's Spotlight every Saturday. You don't want to miss it.
Bridget Masinga, weekdays on The Full Circle.
All right, let us then talk to Dichaba Palatse, who is the marketing manager for video entertainment for SABC2 S2. And they've launched new programming, which is so exciting, so scintillating. I'm pretty sure that, the legacy SABC2 viewers are super excited, but also new viewers alike, Dichaba, quite thrilled and quite happy to go along on this fresh new journey. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Bridget. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Let's talk about the excitement of, 2026, bringing about a new era for the channel.
Indeed. obviously we're excited, but we put in a lot of work and thinking behind how are we going to reimagine SABC2. And I think what our moral compass was looking at what's happening in the country and responding with an offering we feel, will meet their needs. I think South Africans at the moment, we're just so much under pressure. Life feels fragmented. People are craving connection, familiarity, relevance. And I think with the offering that we have, I think we're going to meet people in terms of what it is that they're really craving for. So it's super exciting. I mean, we just launched it on Monday, and I implore on everyone just to tune in and watch. They'll be surprised, they'll be amazed. Our imaging has changed. There'll be new content. We've changed our music. Everything is just so brand new, but it also speaks to what people are craving, which is really that connection.
Yeah. I mean, it's about connection on the one hand, Dichaba, and I think also if we're keeping our ears to the ground, as I'm sure you yourself and the team has for a number of years, a lot of South Africans, especially those who consume the public broadcaster or grew up consuming the public broadcaster, were always saying that we need to go back to that time of a variety of programming, that time when the entire family could be hosted on these channels. There was something for everybody that spoke to everybody. There were shows for everybody. There was dramas for everybody. And as you say, and it in real time, it depicted who we were as South Africans, our aspirations, who we were evolving to be also, and also, I guess, also being a reflection of the history of where we came from. And I think with this era, just looking at the lineup and everything that you've done, in a way, it also speaks to that. In a way, it speaks to we've heard what you've been saying and we've taken on board your feedback, and this is the fresh representation of what you've been saying to us.
100%. So I think the main thing is that we want to be this national unifier. And I think that's a role that we've taken upon ourselves as SABC2 to say we want to be that channel that really gathers people around their cultures, let families sit together, let communities sit together, let them watch, and let them talk about the shows that they watch. And, I like what you said when you said, it's a channel, we want something that reflects who we are, that also takes into account the history. So if you look at the content offering, let me go straight into it. So we have, for kiddies, we have Our Space, which is like a fantastic podcast show for kids. We have these 4 amazing kids that are vlogging. They have other presenters which are creating content. So it's very 2026, very now, very current. If anything, it will remind you of that YoTV era, especially the energy of these kids is just infectious. And then when you talk about reflecting back, right, we have, King David's podcast. Yesterday he was interviewing Tuso, who was talking about how radio was done, how they selected DJs who were teachers, then, and we watch and listen to conversations from the King David podcast. You get a real rich sense of our history, right? And then you have amazing dramas which speaks to South Africans now. You have Pimville, right? And you have Paradise. I was listening to your interview with Manda. And then, you spoke quite in depth about Paradise and the world of Paradise. And that was very intentional, right? So diversity is very important in this new era, that we want Afrikaans to reflect back. We want different languages to also reflect back, not just Afrikaans. So Sesotho, Sizulu, Xhosa. I mean, if you look at Pimville, we have Siswati, we have Venda, we have Setswana, we have Sotho. So it really is a channel that really reflects our diversity, and everybody gets a slice of who they are when they're watching all this different kind of content. We also have a talk show with Penny Liliana and Frederico, right at 4:30, Ain't Like Let's Connect, which is very in-depth, just in terms of information sharing, but also reflecting and celebrating our excellence. This week it's hard. I forget the correct phrasing, but they're focusing on health and heart, and they have different speakers speaking about how to live healthier. But they have many other guests that come and talk about what's happening around the country. So it really is quite a full reflection and different slices of South Africans. We even have extra 30 minutes of morning live, which starts at 5:30. You know, Afrikaans news is also back at 6:30. It's a really fresh channel that speaks to South Africans.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit of everything for everyone, Monday through to Sunday. The lineup is absolutely jam-packed. I'm looking forward to it. It looks fresh. It sounds fresh. It's bringing old talent and new talent and, you know, introducing us to new things, new ideas, new ways of thinking. Definitely a new era for S2. And at this point, I think, and I know we're here talking S2, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask you, Wuti, does this signal a new era just moving forward for the entire bouquet, S1, S3 to follow along after, of course, you are done dancing in the limelight for the next couple of months?
You've got so much work.
Dichaba? Well, I think something just cross-pollinated there on his line with Dichaba Palazzi, who's the marketing manager for video entertainment on SABC2. As we were talking, that lineup change, not even a lineup change, it's a reintroduction of a new era for S2 under the tagline, a new era and live in every beat. There's so much to look forward to. Just 2 weeks ago, we had the producers of Pinville. In fact, it was a week ago. It wasn't even 2 weeks ago. We had the executive producers of Pinville who were here telling us about that high-energy new drama that they've put together that also features some A-list South African stars as well as some new talent. So you can see there the likes of Gail Mabalani alongside Tapelo Mokoena and so many others. And then, of course, we were just talking Paradise right now, which is an Afrikaans-focused telenovela. That's kicking off on the 23rd of February. So if you want to see that, Deal or No Deal is still on the lineup, and you've just heard that you get an additional half an hour of Morning Live with Morning Live Extended now starting at 5:30. It'd be interesting to hear from Leanne. When will she get time to sleep if the show now starts at 5:30? Dichaba?
I'm so sorry. I've got different people calling, and I think I was hanging out, but I think I'll put you on hold by mistake.
No stress at all. I'm just chuckling at the fact that if Morning Live now starts at 5:30, poor Leanne and Sakina now basically just have to live here at SABC. They must just camp here.
Yes. But you know that again, just on that, I just want to touch that. We know that South Africans are waking up earlier because we do know that there's pressures, right? So everything really is, all the decisions are done based on insights and proper research. So yeah, I mean, Leanne and the team are just amazing. They're hard workers and fully are determined in making sure that they deliver a high quality morning show. So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, what else can we look forward to here? Has the full lineup rolled out already, or are shows going to be coming in sort of a staggered approach in this first quarter of the year?
I think the bulk, in terms of the year, there's still a lot more that's going to come. I'm not going to mention too much, but I think at least for the 6 months, and also we want people to settle in our schedule, right? So we are aware that interruptions and changing on schedule does interrupt people's lives, right? So we want the new schedule to be stable, and people to get used to when the news are playing, when is Paradise coming to play. So that job is also very important, that the new schedule settles with the current habitual viewing of South Africans. And then we have other amazing things that are going to come. Amazing movies will come, and there's other stuff that I can't really speak about right now. But there is definitely a commitment from the video entertainment team to say, we hear you. We definitely will be competitive against the best of the best in the streamers. The production quality of our drama, the two dramas that I'm speaking of, I think you spoke at length with Manza, and everybody knows his work. Mokoena, who's doing Pinville, the production value is amazing. If you haven't watched it, Go on SABC Plus right now. You can watch episode 1 and 4, so you catch on to the story. And I mean, cast on both dramas is pretty exceptional. So there's quite a lot to chew right now, and I'm pretty sure everybody will be kept entertained for quite some time.
Absolutely. To yourself and the team at S2, congratulations on this rollout of a stellar lineup. Might I say a shameless plug, considering how much of our time we've now dedicated to some of your new productions. If you find a slot for an English-speaking something, yeah, well, you must double back here to the Full Circle.
Indeed. Before I go, Bridget, I just want to say something, right? Yeah. I know we're speaking SABC 2, but and you know, SABC 1 is also doing tremendously well. Skin Summit reached the peak of viewership last week with the storyline. There's going to be another storyline on Skin Sum. Uzalo as well, which is at 8:30 on SABC 1, is absolutely doing great. There's amazing cast and introductions that's been done also on Generations at 8 o'clock. So prime time is very competitive, but we make sure that it's competitive for people to fit within the VE network. So you jump from SABC 2 at 7 o'clock, and then you watch Skin Summit 7:30, 8 o'clock you watch Generations, 8:30 you watch Uzalo, and 9 o'clock you come back on SABC 2 with Pimpville. So there's no reason for anyone to leave the network of SABC television.
Absolutely. That was Dichaba Palatse, who's the marketing manager for video entertainment for S2. So much to look forward to on SABC TV. It is 10:02, time for us to take a commercial break, and then we'll come back on the other side with some kids programming by way of Nalibali, because it is Friday today. And then we'll get into the top of the hour news.
Every day, Rand Water's underground pipelines run through servitudes across the country, carrying millions of liters of water to our communities. But when people build too close, it's called encroachment, and it's very dangerous. If a pipeline bursts, it can flood homes, destroy property, and in many cases, people lose their lives. That's why Rand Water marks its servitudes with blue and white beacons, a clear warning to stay clear and safe. When we protect Rand Water servitude, we protect our communities too. Rand Water, finding new ways.
Don't pay more than you need to for car insurance. 27-year-old Outsurance client Liam is saving big bucks.
Saving so much every month, around 640 Rand.
That's an amazing 640 Rand saving on Liam's 2024 Ranger. SMS out to 30754. Let's hear how 45-year-old Nivan feels about saving 461 Rand a month on his 2025 VWT Cross.
Save me so much money, 461 Rand.
Nice one. And after 3 claim-free years, you get an out bonus. Get a quote now and see how much money Outsurance could save you. SMS out to 30754. If you don't save, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash. You have nothing to lose with Outsurance. SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Today we celebrate the power of radio to inform, inspire, and connect the world under the theme Radio and Artificial Intelligence, where timeless storytelling meets the future of innovation. This is World Radio Day, a reminder for the voices that bring us closer, the stories that shape our lives, and the conversations that matter. At SAFM, we are proud to be your trusted companion, keeping you informed and engaged every single day. Happy World Radio Day from SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to The Full Circle. This program is brought to you by SABC Education, enriching minds, enriching lives.
and welcome to Nali Bali. Have you ever finished a drawing, solved a tricky puzzle, or learned something new? Every little achievement is special and deserves to be celebrated. Sometimes we wait for big things to happen before we feel proud, but even the small steps we take each day matter. Being grateful for what we accomplish, big or small, helps us stay happy and motivated. Every effort, every try, and every success brings us closer to our dreams. So let's celebrate the little wins because they are just as important as the big ones. Today's story is called The Big Small Fish, written by Dean Adams. Before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and dance! Dumisani and Tlengi were brother and sister. They fished by the river every day to provide food for their family. One day they sat fishing quietly by the river. They cast their lines and after a few minutes, Dumisani felt a tug on his line and pulled out a fish. He cast his line again and soon caught another fish. It didn't take long before he had caught 6 fish. Tlengi waited patiently, but there was no tug on her line.
Don't worry, Tlengi. Today is not your day.
Dumisani said to comfort her sister. Tlengi sighed.
Okay, let's wait a few minutes,
she said. Suddenly, Tlengi's fishing line pulled tight.
This is a big one!
Tlengi shouted with excitement. Dumisani saw his sister struggling and decided to help her pull the fish in. When they finally managed to pull the fish out of the water, they were surprised and disappointed.
Oh no! This fish, it's very strong, but it's also very small,
said Dumisani.
Yes, it is much too small to eat. We might as well throw it back into the river, Dumisani,
agreed Tlengi. But suddenly, the fish made a sound that shocked Dumisani and Tlengi. Tlengi immediately dropped the fish, which opened its mouth and said,
Ahoy!
Tlengi and Dumisani stared in disbelief. Dumisani turned to Tlengi.
Did that fish just... What?
He began. But before Dumisani could finish his sentence, the fish spoke again.
Wait! Don't be afraid!
It said. Dumisani and Tlengi froze. A talking fish? Could this really be true?
Guys, please listen. My name is Shumba, and I'm here to teach you something very important.
The fish continued. Tlengi frowned.
Teach us? What could a tiny fish like you possibly teach us?
She asked. Shumba's eyes sparkled as he replied.
More than you think, actually. Tell me, why were you so unhappy with what you've caught today?
Dumisani scratched his head.
Well, I've caught plenty of fish, so I'm quite happy. But my sister, she's only caught you, and you're not exactly a feast.
Tlengi sighed and nodded in agreement.
Exactly. I worked hard, but you're so small. All my hard work was for nothing.
Shumba flapped his tail thoughtfully and said,
I see. Well, let me tell you a story.
The siblings nodded. Still a little shocked, Shumba began.
Once, there was a very greedy fisherman. He came to the river every day and always demanded to catch the biggest fish. He wanted so much for himself that he was never grateful for the small things that came his way.
Then Shumba told the children how the fisherman had eventually lost everything he had because he rejected the small blessings he had been given. Dumisani and Klengi looked at each other with concerned faces.
But I don't want to be like the fisherman. I only wanted one nice big fish,
said Klengi. Shumba smiled kindly and said,
Wanting more isn't wrong, Klengi, but don't ignore the blessings of little things too. Be thankful for the big and small things you receive. If you learn this lesson, I can give you a special reward, but only if you promise to practice being grateful for what you have.
Klengi nodded eagerly.
Yes, I promise. From now on, I'll try to be happy with whatever I receive, even if it's very small,
she said. The fish closed his eyes.
Very well then. I will grant you both a small wish, something special, something that will help you remember this lesson. Think carefully.
Shumba said. Dumisani's mind raced. He wanted something that would be fun but also useful. He thought for a while and then he knew what he wanted.
I got it. I wish for a fishing rod that can always catch enough fish for our family. Not too much, but just enough.
Dumisani said. Shumba's eyes twinkled as he said,
It is done. Look behind you. This rod will always give you what you need. Not too little, but not too much.
Dumisani turned quickly and picked up his new fishing rod.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Shumba,
he said. Then Shumba turned to Klengi and asked,
And what about you, Klengi? What do you wish for?
Klengi thought for a moment.
I want to share the fish that I catch with anyone nearby who is hungry,
she said. Shumba smiled warmly and said,
From this day on, you will catch enough fish for your family and some extra to share with others.
Then Shumba flicked his tail and splashed back into the river. He turned to Dumisani and Klengi one last time and said,
Now, whenever you feel frustrated or disappointed, remember this day and appreciate what you have, big and small.
Then he disappeared beneath the water. From that day on, whenever Dumisani and Klengi went fishing, they were grateful for every fish they caught, no matter the size. And when they returned home, they always had enough fish for their family and some extra to share with their neighbors. And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called The Big Small Fish, written by Dean Adams.
Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages as well as tips for reading.
Your second file, it's marked 2 of 3. That file we're working with before lunch. And your annexure TLM 3 starts at page 249. At 250. At 250, my apologies.
Is TLM?
TLM 3. Top right corner and marked in red 250, the page number. Have you located it?
Yes.
Please keep it open. We will be referring to some parts of that docket. You may then proceed from your paragraph 57.
This is a case of corruption and and impersonating of a police officer and involves the theft of precious stone from a citizen. I attached the docket of this case marked TLM3. The complainant alleges that on 11 February 2023 at approximately 8 o'clock, 2 male and 1 female individuals arrived at his residential premises and identified themselves as officers of the EMPD. Of these 3 individuals, 2 were attired in official uniform, while the third was in civilian clothing. At that time, the complainant was in the company of his partner, who was able to photograph the officers without their knowledge. The female officer, who has been identified as Constable Stalls of EMPD, informed the complainant that he was under investigation for the alleged smuggling of lithium and expressed their intention to conduct a search of the premise. The complainant requested to be shown a valid search warrant. The officers, the second has been identified as Constable A. Mackenzie, who also is an EMPD member. However, advised that they were entitled to conduct the search without a warrant and that force could be employed if during this,
if necessary.
Or if necessary. During the search, the officers discovered low-grade sugilite and manganese. 6 boxes of sugilite were seized with an estimated value of 14,926,412 rands. The members reported at Westbank that they were tracing a suspect of business robbery, whilst in their own statement they say that they investigating a suspect dealing in lithium. From the evidence obtained of this operation, in brackets, the photographs and CCTV footage, the only people identified are the EMPD officers. No one is identified as being from the Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department, JMPD. Neither Brigadier Kwanazu, who is their supervisor, nor the police officers involved have submitted evidence of a joint operation, as these officers claim it was. The onus lies on them to produce evidence of a joint operation, if there is any. The members stated that they seized the articles and handed them to JMPD officers. Once again, there is no proof that they booked any articles from the operation on the SAP-13 register. Indeed, they could not, as there is no case, as they claim by them registered by SAPS of such an investigation. It is proven that they abuse their powers by operating outside their jurisdiction, i.e. Ekurhuleni, and misled the Rosebank SAPS about the basis of conducting operation within Johannesburg. This amounts to misconduct by these EMPD members based on the fact that they were operating outside their jurisdiction without proof of the necessary authority.
Thank you. You have provided in the docket the photographs that you referred to at paragraph 61. You state there that from the evidence obtained of this operation, the photographs and CCTV footage, the only people identified are EMPD officers. Do you see that?
Yes.
Commissioners, for the record, we are going to put up the pictures. If the commissioners could make a note, you will recall when Chief Mapieye was testifying, he testified to a letter of demand received in respect of semi-precious stones by EMPD. I think that it's demanding a recovery of about 16 million, if memory serves me well. Attached to that letter of demand is a series of photographs, which unfortunately were in black and white. What we are about to put up, which comes from the docket, are the same photographs, except this time in color. So we would have to attend to your files. We had undertaken to provide better photos and substitute what you currently have at Annexure JM24 of Mapieye with the color photographs. If you could just make that note. So you have in your docket, Mr. Magagula, from page 344, a series of photographs. Annexure TLM3 at page 344. Yes. You have a series of photographs. And there are, I think on my count, 3 photographs from 344. So it will be 344, 345, and 346. That is the first photograph. I would like us to move to the second and the last photograph. On these photographs, you say the only people identified are the EMPD officers. You say that at paragraph 61. Do you confirm?
Yes.
From these photographs that are in the docket, are you able to say where those photographs were taken? Is it at the complainant's residence where the crime took place?
Yeah, it was.
Or the seizure of the semi-precious stones took place? Is that the complainant's residence?
Yeah, this is the complainant resident.
There are 3 photos. Are you able to identify any of the people appearing in these 3 photographs?
Yes.
Please do. Let's go back to the first one at 344.
SAFM, we are proud to be your trusted companion, keeping you informed and engaged every single day. Happy World Radio Day from SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
It is indeed World Radio Day today, and we almost forgot. My team reminded me in the morning. We don't have time to talk anything radio because we're in the midst of the Madlanga Commission. But hey, remember that we're running that competition with Dr. Judy Pretorius, who's the founder of Biomedical Emporium Skincare. It's getting closer and closer to us giving away that package on Tuesday, the 24th of February, and I don't want you to miss out. So these are the final days for you to send through your voice notes to us. We just want to know how you met. How did you meet your partner and what has kept you guys together? And it's not a time frame thing, by the way. You don't have to have been together for 70 years and have like unending love. You could literally just have been together for 3 months, and you feel like this person is your person and you got a cute story, and you've been through the ringers in 3 months, and you're able to tell us what has kept you all together, what keeps you all together, what keeps the fires burning. Send us those voice notes on 0614104107. What's for grabs is a hamper, a skincare hamper with 5,000 Rand each, and we're giving it away to 2 couples. So each couple wins a skin hamper valued at 5,000 Rand. And when last Dr. Judy was here, She also made a point of just listing some of the things that she will be putting in that skincare hamper from Biomedical Emporium. And I can tell you now, from what she was saying, the hamper is definitely valued at more than 5,000 Rand per hamper. So you don't want to miss out on that one. You've got for the next couple of days to send through those voice notes. And then my team and I and Dr. Judy will start listening through and seeing what are the best stories that are coming out so that we can make that announcement on the 24th of February, right here on The Full Circle, because love is skin deep.
The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
All right, let's go back to the business of the day. We're going back to the Madlanga Commission. They're back from their lunch recess, and still on the stand today is that Deputy Director from IPID, just telling IPID's side of the story. So let's go back to hear what IPID's Tulani Magagula still has to say.
And other documents are missing from our files, from the docket. If I may update your files with the missing four pages that were supposed to be in the docket. Mr. Magagula's file will be equally updated, and then we can deal with these matters. As these are distributed, Mr. Magagula, do you have the extra pages you provided during lunch? Numbered from 248.1. We propose they won't exactly be in order, commissioners, but so not to disrupt the numbering. We have decided that perhaps they best belong after 248, which is okay, I'm trying to find the logic of why 248. 248 is the copy of occurrence book. And before we get into, so they would start TLM 3. So if we could just put them there, but as the evidence, as he continues, we will realize that they are not in their right place. For the moment, we will do so that they stay together, because they are updating the docket as we currently have it.
Yeah, because if they are 248.1, then they should be just before 249.
And it is because 249 was misfiled, if the chair remembers. That is the statement, commander statement from Mr. Mkwanazi.
The short Julius
yes,
Mkwanazi.
For the previous case.
Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you. See, this is exactly the reason I always say I will rely on you to stick with it.
Just for the record, for the readers of the transcript, to know what happened and how other documents made their way into the files.
Just in case I missed it, were the precious stones ever found? Because I saw in your statement that the officers say they handed them over to JMPD. Were they ever found, the precious stones?
The part of it, small part of it, as we progress, we found them, and it will unfold when the SC is asking me some question, the bigger portion.
Thank
you. Thank you. Have you found your, Mr. Magagula does have the new pages 248.1, the loose pages that you provided during lunch, yes. You had indicated that you then, still at 61, you sent the CCTV footage to the forensic laboratory.
Yes.
Please have regard to page 248.1, the loose pages you just received, to 248.2, and tell the commissioners what that document is.
This document is covering minutes about the summary of the incident, which I summarize and take the video footage to forensic to compile a forensic album.
And I see at
Sorry, isn't there discrepancy here? I thought the number was 14 million rands.
the witness has it as 14.9 million, yes.
No, it says on page 248.1, 14,000 rands.
Oh, on this, the document referring the
The one you just gave us now, 248.1 at paragraph 1.
Yes, the commissioner is correct. It estimates the value at 14,000 rands in this document. Mr. Magagula, you understand? Look at this document. You see the second paragraph. The first is just a one-liner. See the paragraph that starts with the words, "It is alleged by the complainant."
Yes.
On the third line, and this document seems to have been generated by you, if you look at page 248.2,
yes,
you state that the complainant says they seized his legal precious stones worth at the estimated value of 14,000 rand. You see that?
14,000 rands.
You see
Yeah,
what you
I
have
see
here.
it,
Now, if you go to your statement at paragraph 59, you provide an estimated value of 14,926,412 rands. Do you see that?
Yes.
The Commissioner Kumalo would like to understand, can you explain the discrepancy between the two figures?
Yes, I see this discrepancy. This it's a summary to the forensic for them to be able to know what was happening here. It is not the exact amount, it was estimation.
But do you acknowledge that there must be an error between the two figures, the one in the letter and the one in your statement? Which is the wrong figure?
14 million, Mr. Magagula, and 14 million rand and 14,000 rand.
Yes, it was an error. It was an error.
Which one is there?
The error is in the letter.
In the letter.
In the letter.
And perhaps it might assist if we go to page 311 of the same file, 311. That is the statement of the complainant. And if one has regard to paragraph 4 of that statement by the complainant, it states, I quote, "I previously stated that the value of the semi-precious sugarlite stones stolen from me are in the amount of approximately 14 million rand. I enclose herewith an invoice indicating the value of same marked PP1. Do you see that?
Yes.
So we accept from the complainant's version that the value is 14.9 million. Is that so?
Yes.
And that is, it's from the complainant's version that you obtained the value of the stones. You didn't undertake an exercise to evaluate them, did you?
He provided with invoice.
So it's from the version of the
victim.
That's the only basis that you say it's 14 million. So you
Yes.
accept it. Thank you. So then if we go back to our page 248.1, the loose pages, you say there that you were forwarding to the laboratory at paragraph 3, kindly receive the following for analysis. 2x2 memory stick containing video footage of the incident, and then you provide the serial number. Then it states the video footage shows the incident that we are discussing. Correct?
Yes.
Where did you obtain this video footage from?
The video footage, if I may go to.
This is not iPad footage, is it? At least let's start there.
Yeah, the footage, I obtained it from Cap Security.
And who is Cap Security?
It's a security company based in Johannesburg, managing the area where the complainant resides. It is their video footage, not the complainant video footage.
Yes. And you request, I see that the laboratory provided you with a photo album of the video footage saved on the memory stick. And the video footage will be filed in the case docket so that the senior public prosecutor can make an informed decision regarding this incident. Overleaf, you then give details of this case. One, the photographs of the VW Golf and its occupants in and out of the house. Two, the police officer talking to somebody in a car on the street. Three, photos of the victim and precious stones. And the numbered points you say are very important to the case. So that was your instruction.
Yes.
Did the laboratory provide you with such photographs?
Yes, they did provide me with such photograph.
I am going to refer us to page 254 of that same annexure in the file. And at 255 and following are pictures showing part of the streets and the parking area. Can you confirm what place this is? What are we looking at on the screen?
This is the place of residence of the victim and the street thereof.
And if you go to your paragraph 65, you state that Constable Mackenzie, one of the implicated police, filed a further statement on 15 January 2026, confirming the presence of Brigadier Mkhwanazi at the scene. The statement is part of the docket, right? Were you able to determine where in these pictures you say Brigadier Mkhwanazi was, whose presence was confirmed by Constable Mackenzie?
In this picture, I cannot see. There was an interesting car which, upon receiving the photo album, I was interested in. It is not this picture.
Okay, we'll scroll. This appears to be the gate to what looks like a complex. We'll scroll to the next and the next. Then a series of photographs depicting the street.
Yes, these two vehicles.
Yes.
Is very, very important that are shown. The one that is pointed with red, it's a Metro Police vehicle.
By Metro Police, you mean EMPD?
EMPD.
Oh, yes. Please continue.
The first one there is the one which I'm interested in for certain reason.
Okay, let's go to the next picture. There are two pictures here.
I Adrian Norman Mackenzie there.
And he seems to be standing next to the car you said was the second car
Yes.
in the previous picture. We'll scroll forward.
Now, this is the first car that I was interested in when I received the photo album, because that is not the vehicle that Mackenzie is using. And Mackenzie in this photo album is seen standing next to the driver's door of that vehicle. So my suspicion on that, it was that this precious stone that we are talking about, Mackenzie would have been giving that man the stones.
And if we scroll further on, I think it's a close-up picture of what we have seen, Mackenzie next to that car you say you're interested in.
Yes, so now you can see there was an individual inside because he is talking, he's leaning towards that vehicle.
Yes. And if we continue,
So this photo,
make your point, please go ahead.
this photo album is the one that interested to confront Mackenzie again to tell me exactly who is that person was inside the vehicle. So upon interviewing him, giving him an opportunity, because my narrative, it was that even if I'm giving him an opportunity, even if he doesn't give me the statement, I'm gonna file a negative report against him that the stone was taken by this person who you are seen standing next to this car. So he provided me a statement and informed me who was driving this car. So it was on the 15th when he told me that, no, this car doesn't belong to a criminal. It belongs to Julius Mkhwanazi, and the person who was inside the vehicle is Julius Mkhwanazi.
And then if we can go back to the loose pages that we handed in after lunch. You remember we looked at your request to the forensic laboratory we have marked 248.1. Then we have another document at 248.3. You see that? Do you see the document I'm referring to?
2.4?
248.3, at the top there, it's handwritten.
Yes.
What is that document? It's dated the 27th of August, 2025.
This was the results from forensic laboratory. This is covering minutes, giving me the results accompanying the photo album that they have compiled.
I note at item 2 of that page, it states a 212 statement and a photo album are attached as requested.
Yes.
You confirm. What we have on the screen, is that part of the photo album you received from the forensic laboratory?
Yes.
And if we stay on that and you go to the next page of the papers you were holding right now,
yeah.
It should be paginated 248.4 at the top right corner.
Yes, I have it.
I see it is dated 15 July 2026.
It's January.
15 January 2026. I'm 5 months ahead. Do you confirm?
Yes, I confirmed.
As a brief one, are you able to read into the record?
Yes.
Firstly, let's identify what this document is, and then you can read it into the record.
This is the additional statement of Norman Adrian Mackenzie regarding the photo album shown to him by me.
Now, can you read, it's got 4 paragraphs. Are you able to read them into the record?
Yes. On the 13th January 2026, Assistant Director Tulan Magagula from IPID presented me with a photo album of the case in Hillbrow for me to give a small description of what was going on. I went to a white motor vehicle that was occupied by 2 black males that came to the scene to check on us on the day in question. The driver was Director Julius Mkhwanazi, who is in the Ekurhuleni Metro Department and was also with a black male dressed in traffic uniform with a lot of ranks on his shoulders.
Have you been able to identify who this quote unquote black male dressed in traffic uniform with a lot of ranks on his shoulders? Have you been able to identify him yet?
No.
Okay. Now,
I'm sorry, Ms. Sello. After this statement, did you go back to Julius Mkhwanazi and obtain his statement to confirm his presence?
Yes, I did call him, informing him that that now I need a warning statement from him because the table has changed. It is no longer the 3 sentence of duty on, duty off. Now it is part of the suspect, so I must get a warning statement and warn him in terms of Section 35 of the Constitution. At the time when I called him, he informed me it was towards the weekend that he need to consult his legal practitioner. He will come back to me. And indeed, at a later stage, he came back to me because I keep on calling him that it is important. I need this statement. It's crucial. At any given time, he can call me if he's available. I can drive wherever he is to go and obtain that statement. Unfortunately, he didn't tell me when he's free, but he wrote a statement, a small statement as usually, but the statement contained grammar errors. So on its way, it lost its meaning. And basically, that statement, I was not going to accept it because I must see him personally in order for him to sign my warning statement in terms of Section 35 of the Constitution. So it is not a question, even if you wrote a book and then you send it, the requirement is that he must sign. I must see him personally, and I must inform him about his constitutional rights.
thank you, Commissioner Khumalo. Please have regard to your paragraph 66 in your statement now. Your statement, page 16, paragraph 66.
Page?
Maybe before you do that, Ms.
Yes.
Sello, there's a reference to Rosebank SAPS at paragraph 63.
I was turning to that point.
Is that where
now,
you're going?
yes.
Okay.
We'll get back, we'll come back, where Commissioner Baloyi was asking about reference to Rosebank. We will get to that in a moment. I was referring you to your paragraph 66 and to ask you to confirm that the response you just gave to Commissioner Khumalo regarding what steps you have taken against General Brigadier Mkhwanazi since obtaining the second statement from Mackenzie, the one we've just read into the record, that you have set out your explanation at paragraph 66. Please look at it. Do you confirm?
Yes, I confirm.
Okay. I see there is an error in the date there. It has to be, because at line 3 it says, you contacted Brigadier Mkhwanazi, who said he wants to confer with his lawyer. This after Brigadier Mkhwanazi had submitted a statement on 5th February 2025, which I rejected. The year is wrong.
Yes, the year is wrong.
That was really my question.
2026.
So we should correct that to 2026.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because I had assumed that in 2025 a statement was obtained, and then Mackenzie gives his statement in 2026, and then.
Indeed. And I'll just confirm that this is the statement that you say you received and rejected from Brigadier Mkwanazi. That was the first statement from him, was it? Or was it a second statement?
This, it was, this one that I'm looking for, it is the second statement as per warning statement. The first one that I obtained from Brigadier Mkwanazi, it was the duty on, duty off statement of those members because his involvement was unknown at that stage.
Okay. I was going to then ask us to turn to the various statements that you have on file, and in the course of doing so, we will answer Commissioner Baloi's question. At paragraph 63 of your statement, page 15, you note, it is proven that they, being the EMPD officers, abused their powers by operating outside their jurisdiction, i.e. Ikuruleni, and misled the Rosebank subs about the basis of conducting operations within Johannesburg. You see that?
Yes.
You have a series of statements. In particular, I would like us to start in Annexure TLM 3 from page 273. Now, at 273, if you can confirm, this is the warning statement of Adrian Norman Mackenzie. The actual statement starts at 277.
Yes, I see
You confirm?
it.
And you obtained, according to this document, this statement, if it is dated, do you have a date for when you obtained the statement?
For Mackenzie, yes, I
Mackenzie.
will. 2 May 2023.
And that is at page 280.
Yes,
I
280.
say it is certified on the 2nd of May by you, 2023.
Yes.
Before we get to the statement of Mackenzie, I would like us to go to the other statement, the next statement at 281, and that is the statement of Keshali Stolz.
Yes.
I would like us to start with the statement of Ms. Stolz because it sounds like, as we shall see from the statements, that she's the initiator of this operation insofar as Mr. Mackenzie is concerned.
Yes.
Is that your understanding as well? And Ms. Stolz's statement is at page 296.
Yes.
Correct. And I will just quickly note, at paragraph, she introduces her name and confirms that she's a white female employed by EMPD as a constable, and then states that she wishes to state as follows in English. In February 2023, I was on duty and in full uniform when I received a call from Mozo, a JMPD member who requested assistance in the recovery of lithium rocks that were suspected to being sold illegally by a suspect in Rosebank area. So, next paragraph, we went to Rosebank subs and informed them that we would be working in the area. We then went to the address of the person who was illegally dealing in lithium. Let me just go back to the first paragraph I read, where Ms. Stoll says she received a call from Mozo, a JMPD member who requested assistance. Have you been able to locate this JMPD member called Mozo?
In terms of the police, we have rank, we have surnames. So Stolz is giving me Mozo. I do not know the rank. I do not know if how many Mozos are there. So I believe it was she was sending me from pillar to post. She is the one who was working with that person. So she has to have full details of such person. So I do not know if this person exists or not there in Johannesburg.
And you stated in your statement that insofar as Mackenzie and Stolz were operating in Rosebank, it was outside their jurisdiction.
Yes.
Under what circumstances could they operate in Rosebank, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, they can operate in Johannesburg if they are invited officially in Johannesburg with accountability. For instance, if they are invited by Johannesburg, they will be led by the people of Johannesburg, not them leading themselves.
So then at paragraph 3 of that statement, when he says we, it's not clear who the we is, went to Rosebank subs and informed them that would be working in the area. From what you are saying, JMPD wouldn't have to do that because Rosebank is within JMPD jurisdiction. Am I correct?
Yeah, you are correct. If it was an official duties, indeed, they would have reported to JMPD. They don't need to report there at Rosebank, and then they are working under the leadership of Johannesburg. Accountability will go to Johannesburg, that were with the members of EMPD.
And if we go then back, you remember we started with a second statement. The first statement starting at 273 is said to be the statement of Norman Mackenzie. The actual warning statement starts at 277. And are you at 277?
Yes, I'm there now.
That is the statement of Adrian Mackenzie. It says, I, Adrian Norman Mackenzie, employed at Ekurhuleni as a Metro Police officer, state the following. And at paragraph 2, and I quote, on the day in question, I was on duty in full uniform and equipment when Constable Stolz told me she got a call from a JMPD member who needed assistance with recovery of stones in Rosebank. 3, we went to subs in Rosebank to make a OB entry that we will work in the area, and we went to the suspect area in Rosebank. You confirm that?
Yes, I confirmed that.
And lastly then, if we go to page 299, and at 299 is a statement as well dated the 25th of May 2023 by a Mr. Malautsi, who states, I'm an adult male and provides a service number holding the rank of warrant officer working at number 15 Study Avenue, Rosebank, SAPS. On Saturday, 2023-02-11 at about 5:45 a.m., I reported on duty at CSC as a relief commander. Around 8:50 a.m. the same day, members of EMPD came to CSC and report on duty. They were wearing full uniform. It was a female and a male members. Their names are Constables Stolz and Constable Mackenzie. Then he indicates who they spoke to directly, Sergeant Mohali. At paragraph 3, he continues, they said they are reporting on duty for tracing suspect of business robbery that took place in Nigel. And they will be doing investigations around Rosebank area. You see that?
Yes, I see.
According then to Warrant Officer Malautsi of Rosebank, when the two, as Mackenzie states, went to make the OB entry, they indicated that they were reporting for duty tracing suspects in connection with a robbery that took place in Nigel. But on Ms. Stolz's version, they were invited by the JMPD regarding illegal lithium trading in Rosebank. Is that how you understand the documents as well?
Yes, it's where they have problems.
What problems? Are you able to say more about the problems?
Acacia and company.
Yes. What problems do you suggest they have?
They misled Warrant Officer Mlauzi that they are there to trace a suspect of business robbery in Niger, and they are doing investigation. To start with, they have no function of investigation.
And go continue, please continue.
And there is no case that to prove that they were doing legal duties of a case of Nigel. They have not told him about a case. That case is non-existent.
And then lastly, at page 292, it's an undated statement signed at the bottom against the name Etienne van der Walt.
It's
298.
Yes, I got it.
And on this document, this statement, it doesn't have a warning statement formal sheet in the docket. Did you obtain this statement from Mr. van der Walt yourself?
Yes, I obtained the statement of van der Walt.
I see it is undated. Do you have a recollection of when you'd have obtained it? Is it around the same time you obtained from Ms. Stolz and Mr. Mackenzie or later?
It was after Mackenzie and Stolz, and the reason for not obtaining the warning statement as required, it is because Mr. Etienne van der Walt refused and said, I'm not a suspect. I said, no, as per requirement, I tried to explain his right. He refused. So as a suspect, I have given him the opportunity to write whatever he want to write in that statement, and he wrote what is contained in this.
Okay. Mr. van der Walt states, I, Etienne van der Walt, a white male, hereby wish to provide the following statement. On the date in question, February 2023, I, as with Constable Stolz and Constable Mackenzie, I think I was with Constable Stolz and Constable Mackenzie, as we were going to go do patrols for truck that had been stolen or used in theft trailers. Do you see where I'm reading?
Yeah.
Second paragraph. He continues, we were en route to our first truck stop when Constable Stolz received a call. Constable Stolz informed me that a JMPD officer had requested assistance in Rosebank, and I asked if I could accompany them quickly, and then we would continue to do the patrols of the truck stops when we were done. We met, next paragraph, we met with the JMPD officer who informed Constable Stolz and Constable Mackenzie of the help she needed. So, was it your understanding that the JMPD member was a female? Because that's what this would suggest.
Yes.
Okay. We then proceeded to Rosebank Subs, where I stayed in the vehicle. I take it that's when they went to register in their presence in the OB register, perhaps?
Yes.
We can skip the next paragraph. The one after states, I stayed in the lounge area, this is after entering the victim's premises, talking to the girlfriend of the white male. By then they had entered the flat. And if we skip that to the next paragraph, he states, Constable Stolz and Constable Mackenzie came into the lounge after putting brown boxes on the floor in the entrance hall. And if we then go to the next, second line, we met with the JMPD after, and Constable Stolz and Constable Mackenzie handed the JMPD officer the sub-seizure form and rocks. We then left to follow up on the information in Bredel. You see that?
Yes, I see.
So from Mr. Van der Waal's statement, it would appear that Mr. Constable Mackenzie handed the rocks over to a JMPD officer, wherever that person was.
Yes.
And your testimony is that those rocks, as Mackenzie has confirmed, were handed over to the person in the white vehicle on the street.
He never confirmed that. He confirmed that in the latest statement, the additional statement.
Yes.
He identified a person. Those people were inside the white vehicle. He never spoke about the rocks.
So he still maintains that the rocks was given to the JMPD officer?
No. I don't believe their version.
No, only his version. I'm happy to go with his version. What's his version? What happened? What became of the rocks, according to Constable Mackenzie?
According to Constable Mackenzie's statement, is that they given the JMPD.
This still the unidentified JMPD member?
Yes, unidentified.
To check with Commissioner Baloy, I don't know if that answers your Rosebank question.
Yes,
reference.
it does, Mr. It does.
In the CCTV footage that you have viewed, do you see any JMPD vehicles or any JMPD officers?
No.
And I see that we did discuss this, that now you are waiting to obtain a warning statement from Brigadier Mkonazi. What's the next step thereafter?
After obtaining a Brigadier Zilas Mkonazi's statement, depending on what he's gonna say, if indeed, I don't believe that there was a Gauteng traffic with a lot of ranks, but if indeed he write that he was with his friend, I will ask the rank, he will know better, because Mackenzie doesn't know those rank. He's the one who will know it is his counterpart. He will tell me that I was with this person. So it means that the same person I must obtain. His warning statement is also part of that illegal operation. And then after that, I take the docket to the Director of Public Prosecution for decision. And then if they say Chaile, and then I go and arrest them. It will depend on the decision of the public prosecutor. If they see that there is some work that I must do, I have to comply with what I have not yet, I didn't see they are looking at that Makakula, you have not yet finalized your matter. Please go and do 1, 2, 3, 4. But if the Director of Public Prosecution is satisfied, they will issue a directive. These people must be charged with these following counts. I will not predict, but it will be them who will decide.
And the commissioners are aware, and this they learned from Chief Mapieye when he testified, that on the 15th of August 2023, the complainant submitted a notice to Ekurhuleni, the city of Ekurhuleni municipality, of his intention to institute action against the municipality to recover the value of the stolen property. No, that what he terms to be stolen property. So that evidence is already before the commissioners, and the commissioners will recall that's when Chief Mapieye submitted JM 24. So is it fair to conclude that on the basis of that letter of demand, which is very detailed, that the EMPD has been appraised of this incident by its members?
Yes, EMPD was aware of this incident even before the
letter of demand.
the civil litigation. Why am I saying so? Commissioner Baloi asked, it was Commissioner Kumalo asked, was the stone recovered? And then I said part of it. EMPD was aware a long time ago about this incident because after the arrest of these people on Benoni Cars 215, I went together with my members to search the vehicle of Adrian Norman Mackenzie. Upon searching that vehicle of Adrian Norman Mackenzie, we recovered some stones there inside. When we searched, I booked him out and came with him to the car so that I can search the vehicle in his presence. So when we found the stones, he was there standing, and I had to ask him, does this belong to you? He agreed that this belongs to me. He even added that during the night this stone is it's just for decoration whatsoever. Each and every item that we found there, I made him to account for it, and he signed the acknowledgement that this belongs to me, this belongs to me, this belongs to the municipality. Everything that belonged to municipality, it was given to municipality. So EMPD from that point, it was on March, I'm sure it was on the 10 or 11 or 13 March where they became aware of this incident. So there is no way that they only knew when the civil litigation came.
Sorry, I hear you say that you found the vehicle, you found the stones in his vehicles, but how does the EMPD become aware about these stones and therefore the incident itself? You're not, in your explanation, in your answer, you didn't explain how they became aware.
I made them aware on the same day because the vehicle belongs to EMPD, and there were other properties that was inside the vehicle which belongs to EMPD.
Who in particular, and what form did the making aware take? Is there a record where the stones, where you inform EMPD in writing, whether it's a form or whatever form it takes, about these stones, that they are related to the incident in Rosebank? Is there that kind of detail when you inform them?
Okay. There is between my communication with Commissioner Spears, I informed him, and he also exchanged the same photos with me. I remember in our WhatsApp message, which will be before the commission, there is the photo of the stones. He himself sent me also the stone that I recovered. I do not remember.
Madlanga Commission will be back there shortly. But as we start now the National Pulse, let me remind you, SFM News with momentum. Those with financial advisors have a better shot at generational wealth. Speak to a Momentum accredited financial advisor for advice that meets your context. The news at 3 with Ondela Mbana.
Thank you, Ashraf. On the top stories, calls from Mbeki and Zuma to be subpoenaed at the TRC prosecution's inquiry, and Trump scraps greenhouse gas standards for U.S. cars. For SFM News, I'm Ondela Mbana, and a very good afternoon. Lukhanyo Calata has called for the TRC cases inquiry subpoena former Presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma to come answer for their failings with regards to the investigation and prosecution of TRC cases. Representing families of victims, Calata, the son of Fort Calata of the Cradock Four, has abhorred the double speak of the former heads of state, including President Cyril Ramaphosa, who he says pronounced that they understand the plight of the victims' families while undermining the inquiry and its proceedings.
The TRC handed over its reports. It handed those reports over to former President Thabo Mbeki as the president of this republic. What did he do about it? What did his organization do about it? What did his government do about it? If nothing was happening with regards to these cases, why did he not, as the leader, as the president of the republic, call his ministers of justice, his national directors of public prosecutions, his police commissioners? Why did he not call them into a room and say, gentlemen, or ladies, I need this to be done pronto? He didn't do so. That's why we're sitting here all of these many years later.
IPID Assistant Director Tulani Magagula has disputed a notion from the city of Ekurhuleni that it was not aware of a matter regarding 3 of its Metro Police officers being involved in the theft of cigarettes. The incident occurred in 2022 at a shop in Benoni, Ekurhuleni, where 3 EMPD officers allegedly stole a large quantity of cigarettes. The officers were subsequently arrested and appeared in court, but the matter was provisionally withdrawn because the complainant did not show interest. Magagula told evidence leader advocate Mahlape Silo that it is untrue for the city to say it was unaware of the matter because he is the one who made the arrest.
Are you aware of a complaint from EMPD or any of its senior managers that the EMPD does not have information regarding this matter and therefore are not in a position to take steps against their members? Are you aware of such a complaint to IPID?
I'm aware because I heard, but when you look at it, when I effected arrest, they were present. So I do not know if they say that they are not aware whilst I effected that arrest in their own offices.
The Southern Africa Agriculture Initiative has rejected President Cyril Ramaphosa's plan to centralize the national vaccination campaign and vaccine procurement of foot and mouth disease within the state. The Farming Network organization has welcomed Ramaphosa's announcement declaring foot and mouth disease a national disaster, but it says the Agriculture Department does not have the capacity to manage the epidemic through central control. The organization's executive board chairperson, Dr. Theo Diaga.
The president has it thoroughly wrong, though, when he believes that only by centralized procurement we can roll out a national blanket vaccine strategy, especially when he compares it with our experience during the COVID pandemic. Because every farmer out there remembers the disastrous centralization in that process.
Police in Limpopo have confirmed that a body of a male person has been recovered at Zindi River in Manini near Toyando. The body was found as a search and rescue team continues to search for the body of a businessman who disappeared when the vehicle he was driving was swept away by floods last month. The businessman was crossing a submerged bridge at Tswinga. Police spokesperson Captain Vuledzani Dati says the body is in a state of decomposition and has been taken for DNA assessment for identification.
A male body floating at Nandone Dam in the side of Manini village. We can confirm that the dead body was at a decomposing state, but believed to be a male who was swept away by Zindi River at Singer Bridge on Saturday, 17 January 2026. But the ongoing police investigation will unpack that as the DNA process will be conducted.
Social Development Minister Sisisi Tolashe has conducted an oversight visit at the Mbekweni Sasa office at Paarl in the Barland as one of the pilot sites of the recently rolled out biometric system. Tolashe says it's one of the busiest offices and serving about 33 communities in the Paarl area. Tolashe says the beneficiary biometric enrollment system is expected to be rolled out across the country before the end of the year. She says they aim to eliminate fraudulent beneficiaries and corrupt officials officials through the biometric system. Some U.S. car makers have welcomed President Donald Trump's scrapping of greenhouse gas standards for vehicles after his dismissal of landmark climate policy, which found carbon emissions were a health hazard. But analysts warn U.S. car makers will face difficulties selling abroad. The BBC's Simi Jwalaso has more on the president's decision.
He called the endangerment finding the Green New scam. He said that all that it concluded was unfounded. It had nothing to do with public health. He also made a lot of claims that this move will make cars cheaper. He says this move will bring down costs for automakers, that the move will save more than $1 trillion. I must say that he provided no scientific evidence to support the repeal.
Recapping the top story, Lucanyo Kalata has called for the TRC cases inquiry to subpoena former presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma to come answer for their failings with regards to their investigation and prosecution of TRC cases. I'm Wandila Mbana for SFM News. Headlines at 3:30.
And a reminder, Momentum is part of the Momentum Group Limited, an authorised FSP and registered credit provider.
Some say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, sometimes it gets the grease, sometimes it gets replaced. Generic guidance only fits a few situations. That's why Momentum accredited financial advisors take the time to understand